What episode are we on now?
21, I think.
Very nice. Has it really been that infrequent? The game's been out for almost 2 years.
Yeah, it's. I don't even remember when I first started this thing.
Within 3 to 6 months, I think. It's probably when you did your first one.
Maybe?
I'm sure you did one by the 6 month anniversary.
I'm gonna have to go back and check at some point.
You keep them in a playlist.
Some of them.
Let's see. Probably just take a look.
Okay, shared that out. We are live. This is episode
You're
21.
This is episode.
Take a look as well. Let's see here. When did we start this?
Playlists. Podcast. I want to see all of it though. View full playlist. So 10, 9, so 3.
It says.
I see episode 3, episode 2.
Okay, I found one. It says we did this back on May 31st of 2022 or 2021. So it's been almost a year and a half.
Oh god, is that what Nibs looks like?
Yeah, I mean that's him without the clan attire.
Interesting. Okay.
Sup Boink, sup Jacob. I
All
haven't
right.
I haven't done any of the thank you banners. I still don't know if I'm gonna do that because I'm 33k away from pity from maxing Zen. So I just don't think that's. I don't know if I'm gonna chase those banners. Maybe I'll do the first poll. We'll see.
I'm about 18 days from getting Awaken 3.
Oh
Depends on
Jesus Christ.
depends on Master Metals. If I get double of them to drop or not.
I just don't get why we didn't get the Black Friday deals JP gets. It's just like we see what they get. We see their, jamboree, their cool pack of all these units, and then we get something like the thank you thing that's based off of jackasses who I still don't get how some of those units won the popularity contest for the thank you banner. Like I thought Gray wasn't going to win because enough people had him, and
I think people wanted to get more Awakenings on them, would be my guess, because the Awaken 3 and 5 are they're pretty big. Because I know if I face like an Awakening 3 right now and higher, it's a lot different than facing an Awaken 0, 1, or 2.
I wouldn't even use Awaken Zero units in Arena. That's just stupid.
Oh yeah. But like I see Awakening 1 Greynalls all the time and they're just they just die really quick and they don't do as much damage. But my max Awaken Greynarl, depending on Erdrick's Awakening, you know, sometimes I can one shot him turn 2.
I
And
mean, Zaro and Young Terry, I get at least. I feel like Diamond Slime probably should have been the number three, but I,
hmm,
you know, I don't get it. Like I feel like Diamond Slime could give you a lot more versatility overall. But people are like, "Oh, Dragon with Zap Breath. I gotta make sure I get more of that." What's
it's the Frizz single target I think that's more
more
useful
dangerous?
with Erdrick on the field. The Zap Breath is still good. Yeah, that thing just chunks. Zap is a very strong element right now. If if Royal Reptiles Blossom was a bit better, I think we'd be seeing him more.
Yeah, I don't really see him or deal with him much at all. He just it's one of those units you don't really get much mileage out of. I mean,
He's pretty fast too.
what's his agility max awaken with the Blossom?
I can tell you in about 30 seconds. But I know he's pretty fast. He has high attack. His HP isn't as high. Let me get out of this auto. But I mean, like in terms of blossoming, like he's low on the totem pole, just because he's not used that much. Where's Royal Reptile? There we go. I have him at 506. Hold on, wait. Let's take that off. 471.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to his blossom. See if any of these are agility. 50 HP, 50 HP. So it would be 46 base. Not bad.
Eh,
And-
it's okay. I mean, it's
Yeah.
definitely a
See,
lot faster things out there.
yeah. I don't even understand what this is, though. Performs martial recovery of a major amount of HP and greatly raises attack for 3 turns when HP drops to 75% or less.
It's one,
Dragon Rage.
it's one of his blossoming abilities.
Yeah.
That's like some sort of martial shield and
Yeah, so basically, if he gets under 75%, he gains a major amount of HP. Sort of like a S-Tark thing, I guess.
mm-hmm.
But greatly raises his attack. And he gets 15% potency, physical potency.
I don't
And I
know.
mean, like his attack can hit from one, two, three, 4 tiles away.
I mean, but how easy is it to take him out, though? That's the thing. It's just
Yeah,
like
it is easy.
he's not really a striker. I mean, what
Yeah,
are you going to get his agility up to five something? I mean, you've got units in RTA right now that are doing like 715, 730 agility.
yeah.
There's no touching that.
If he had more HP, I think he could be used, but he just doesn't have enough.
So I mean, I guess he's more along the lines of if you've got the materials and you don't feel like the next sets I think is Marquess and Vera. If you don't have either of those units or you don't have them awakened at all, maybe do Royal Reptile. It's kind of like Hybrid. I mean, I wouldn't recommend
Hey, you
Blossoming
beat me.
Hybrid.
You beat me in RTA this morning.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I still wouldn't recommend Blossoming Hybrid. I mean, he's great for Erdrick and he's got speed and mobility, but I mean, it's like he's max awakened. He's got five
Yeah,
extra in agility and a substantial amount of nature mastery as well behind him. So there's it's not just like, oh, you can just pick up a high bird, go in there, and this will go well for you. No, there's it's circumstantial.
yeah. I had Rose Garden in there, and when I got to about Master 3, I switched Rose Garden and the Thunderbird out, and I put in Bianca. And I always have Grey Gnarl, and I always have Sorrow in there, and then I have Zen Long in the middle.
Those cover
I've
tanks
put,
are just a wild card because you could pop them early on.
yeah, it all depends on how they set up too.
That's true. If they're in the middle, it's pretty easy for me. But if they're off to like one side or another, they may
Yeah.
live longer.
So what do we got coming up?
I mean, we've
'Cause-
got Halloween Veronica's going to be coming up. You know, the status ailment crazy unit. I mean, it's basically a fucking Marlboro in the form of a young girl. So I mean, you've got her. You've got
yeah.
there's I think there's going to be a Seraphie coming up. That's a beach time one.
Oh, more waifus. Okay.
Yeah, more waifus. I don't remember if she was actually something you should go for. I'd have to look at her toolkit.
Is it healer or is it damage?
I think it's damaged this time. I'd have to look. See if I can pull up the database.
That makes sense given first Seraphie was just all heal support.
Let me go see if her
Dude,
stats are up.
I've faced a couple beach Jessicas in RTA, and each time I've done it, they have been max awakened. Like a couple, and they were JP whales.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that unit max awaken is very scary.
Now, did those same people have other Max Awaken units, or is that the only one they had when you fought them?
Uh, I faced the first time I faced her. She was maxed at awakening +5. His sorrow was awakening 15.
Jesus
Erda
Christ.
awakening +10. Yeah, it was Maxwell, and I almost beat him, but I had some RNG not go my way.
Yeah, it's called the power of money.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm pulling up the database now. I'm gonna take a look at Seraphie.
Oh, that was the RNG. It was I just got randomly charmed because I attacked her.
Oh,
Hey, what's up, Pack?
so let's see. Database has some of the new units. They've got the new Blossom. Let's see here. Okay, here it is. Summer Angel Seraphie. So this came out back on 9/1. So I mean, realistically, yeah, 30 days
That should
or
be
90 days total away.
that should be by the end of next week.
Yeah, by the 30th, I think she'll definitely drop with part two. It's got helpful rescue, grants moderate regeneration to all allies, an area of effect for 3 turns, pulls them 2 spaces closer. So she's got a heal that also pulls the units closer.
Oh,
That's different. Okay.
so you can move your own units. Oh, that could be pretty nice. Like let's say you go before a certain unit and if you know if that unit moves in this spot, it can like fuck you up, then you can pull them back to in. Now that might open up a new avenue, but if their unit needs a certain spot to hit like so many of your units and kill a unit that you need alive, that could be pretty huge. And it heals them?
It's not a bad idea. I mean, it's one of those things where people hated King Sheesh line because of the auto that knocks units back. So essentially, the
Yeah.
Seraphie does that for you, and then depending on what the turn order is, if she's going first, if you've got you have some units that rush up, and then she pulls them back to safety potentially. That could be an interesting strategy.
It could be.
Have to time that very well, but that could be an interesting strategy. I didn't really look at her before. But then she's got another heal, cross-shaped heal. Heals a major amount of HP and raises breath resist for all allies in area of effect for 3 turns. So she has a breath resistance ability. And then they did give her one attack that has, a 3x3 square radius, so kind of like Red Hood. Deals
Okay.
moderate frizz type martial damage to all enemies in area of effect 5 times. Rarely lowers attack for 3 turns. So she's got The ability to shield from breath attack. She's got a debuff Marshall. That's it's okay, and she's got the pullback. Let me see what her perks are.
What's her move? Can she move 3?
Her move is 2.
Does she get a +1?
So she gets what's called Seaside Dash, where at battle start raises her agility and move for 3 turns. So
Okay.
she gets some mobility up early on for a buff, kind of I guess like Terry in a
Yeah.
way. Her one heart ability when any ally, including self, is attacked by enemy, heals with more helper Seraphie if the user or ally is within 1 to 2 spaces range, including self, up to 3 times per battle.
Including self?
So she can heal herself if she's hit, as long as she doesn't die, up to 3 times per battle. So that's the
So
one
that,
awaken.
wow. So they made an offensive Seraphine, but that can also heal.
Yeah, they've
Okay.
made it to where she can fight and she can also heal herself if she takes a
She's,
hit.
so she's a hybrid unit. All right.
And then the three awakening is when making a martial attack or when user or ally heals 1 HP or over with a martial effect, raises martial potential potency for 3 turns. So when a martial attack or when a user heals. So I mean, I could see her having some good pairing with maybe Omega Weapon. Omega Weapon would go in and she would buff his potency as well. I wonder. I'd have to look at him and see what his potency stacking looks like.
People are definitely going to find some interesting combos that you're going to be able to move a unit back into safety
But I
or
mean,
or block a unit from taking a tile. People are going to figure
it's
that out.
nice, but I mean, if you have full evasion, a marshal doesn't do shit unless there's some sort of sure hit on there. I'd have to go back and look, but
Yeah.
so I mean, her one awakening is pretty good. Her her 3 awakening seems pretty good as well, but she's definitely a unit where you don't need to have, you know, five awakenings on her to make her actually work.
Right.
And she's weak to Sizz and Crack, so I mean, she's not weak to Frizz at least. That's good.
Yeah.
You know,
What is he strong to?
Whoosh and Zap.
That's actually pretty good.
And then she's got Confusion Immunity. She's weak to Paralysis and Bind, so I mean, you could effectively take her out turn 1.
Yeah, with paralysis.
Yeah, you could take her out with Paralysis. So I mean, not a bad unit overall. I mean, if you're gonna pull for her, you're gonna want the one Awaken. Other
Yeah.
than that, I can't see going crazy on that unit.
No, probably not. I mean, just the one awakening would probably be fine. She's going to be in the back of the map anyway.
Right. She's not meant to get hit.
No.
So that's next week. Well, that's 4 days from now, and then if the timeline serves itself, I'm gonna see here because there's a shark we're getting and a salamander. I know one of these is gonna be a gotcha unit. Don't know if these A's are anything to write home about. Let's see this
Are
one's.
you going to be able to pull on any of the thank you tech banners?
I could if I wanted to. I mean, I'll have some gems ready to pull on at least 1 or 2, but
They go away pretty quick, don't they?
yeah, no, it's like thank you, give us your money and fuck off. You're not going to be able to use the gems from the monthly guild stamina. That's not going to be there. You're not going. I don't think you're going to be able to use the RTA gems either. So it's like, oh, thank you, and we'll see you later. So it's like Spend now or get screwed.
Yeah, they leave Zenlong and Erdrick till like just about Christmas, but they could have left that one another week. We get we get a it's a very sort of like East Coast bias thing for the global. It's how JP treats us.
Pretty
It
much. I mean,
it feels like it's that vibe.
so I mean, next is Final Fantasy, and then Veronica's after that, which I thought Veronica was sooner, but I guess that's because I thought, since she was a Halloween unit, maybe we would get her sooner, but that's not gonna happen.
We're probably not going to get too many more units sooner.
No, I think the 90-day thing is as close as it's gonna get.
Like we might get an anniversary unit sooner, but that might be it.
Right now, the last update they have is from 11/18, which was a little over a week ago, where they added in the Doctor I think Slump. They call him Doctor Snapped here, and a couple other units from Dragon Quest Monsters. The first looks like the first set they've added, so a couple S rank units, a couple A's. Nothing too crazy.
We're going to get a lot of those Dark Lords units pretty soon, though, right? And they're 55 weight.
Uh, let's see. We're getting so for Dark Lords coming up. Let's see here.
I remember seeing a lot of units coming up that are going to be 55 weight, and I thought that was interesting.
Let me take a look. I mean,
I
you
just remember
got
on
Neiman. Let's see.
the
Neiman's
Twitter.
gonna be Beast. Neiman's gonna be the first new S, but he's Beast and doesn't people. It's hard to take some people seriously when they're like, "Well, oh, he'll be a skipper this unit," because there's always a lot of like mental gymnastics and bullshit going on in the background. Like,
Yeah,
Aces is pretty much a Piova equivalent to me at this point. The guy's like, "Oh, yeah, I just want rank 1 RTA for a screenshot. Yeah, just a screenshot. Is that okay? Could I get that?" And even Marco gave him like a good suggestion. Like, well, why don't you just have 15 change the name and you could get it? It's like, well, I want to earn it. And the next thing you know, he's going for like, I guess, 100,000 points in this, and it's just like he's like telling people he's lost sleep, and then he's coming back around like, well, that was a joke. I'm not really losing sleep on this. It's like, bro, you're the same guy who told me if the game goes south, you're gonna call your bank and try and get all that money back. You're living in fucking La La Land. Like, he thinks
yeah.
on some plane, like when the whole JM thing happened, he's like, well, if it happened to me, I'll just call the bank and they'll give me all that money back. He's an idiot. Like, he's nuts.
I'll
And
tell you
it's,
what, if he gets his money back, it means you know that he knows someone who works for the bank.
I mean,
That's better.
I could see him getting a partial. I mean, maybe the last 90 days, but he
Yeah.
was confident he would get everything back. And, that at this
No.
point, I would say, what would that be? Like 10, 15,000, maybe more? I mean, if you look at his box. And so it's just like this game grips people. It takes advantage of people, like yourself, like me, and it takes advantage of people with a lot of money and low intelligence on not in terms of the business aspect, but in other ends. Like, you can look at Game Vision. I mean, Game Vision couldn't even do his own matches. Apparently, somebody told me that Pac Demon logged into his account to do his matches for him. It's like somebody's like, "Whoa, you should get Game Vision back." I need somebody who could think for himself. I can't. No, I'm not gonna baby you. I'm not gonna show for your account. Fuck off.
Hank,
Play
you
the
confirm
game
this?
yourself.
Can you confirm this pack, please?
Because if that's true, that is absolutely fucking sad. Like, that's like, hey, you spend
Saying
thousands
it's
of dollars to get into the game, and then you have another man play for you. That's kind of that's bad. That's just sad.
Well, he's saying he didn't, so hopefully
I
that's
hope
true.
to God not, because that's what I heard. And again, if that's true, that is fucking sad. I
Told
hope
you.
to God
He
not.
told you.
I'm not gonna give up my source, but that is what I've heard, and it's from somebody who has never told me bullshit before. Has
Oh
been
yeah,
pretty
he's
spot
logged
on.
in. He's logged in for Meta. I know he's done his matches.
Well, I think Meta's, I think Meta's kind of done with this game. I think Meta went off and, because some people are in AW, not just AW, but in general, they saw Marvel Snap. Marvel Snap is a very free to play friendly game. Like, even if you spend a lot of money, you don't have to in this game. It's pretty even playing field. You can't say that for Gotcha. You can't say that for Dragon Quest Hack or any of these other
No.
games. You either, you spend, you've been here since day one and you've had some luck, or you've had some luck and you haven't been here as long, and
Yeah.
you'll do okay. But if you don't put in the money, if you don't have the luck, you're not getting a lot of content done easily. You're not getting high on the RTA leaderboards. You're not getting stuff done, and that's just
There's
how these
always
games
has to
work.
be luck involved. There's always has to be luck involved.
And sure enough, I told people, hey, if I go for the last cent, it's crazy. It's absolutely stupid. I'm looking at like a 78k gems to pity this thing, and here
Yeah.
I am probably gonna do the 78k gems to pity this thing, but I know better, and I still did it. I still was like,
Yeah.
I want to get the dragon max.
I
And
mean that's what I did for Graynall. I said I need to future proof this, and it has paid off. Like, sure, it was dumb, but I mean, it has paid off.
I mean, he's got three shields, and then if he gets max awakened, you get the extra dragon scale with the HP back. Every little bit of HP helps in RTA. Like, if you can skim by even like 10 HP and you
Yep.
get to go on the offensive again, you could literally just finish somebody off. Like,
Yep.
it's make or break. So it's like, yeah, I'll take that awakening. I'll take those extra stats for the
That's why I
agility
want the
and the
Awaken
survival.
3 for the extra 20% damage. Like, I gotta have that.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous. You could turn the fight around. You could
Oh,
literally,
yeah.
if you go up against you have a 3 awakened Zenlon and you're going up against a 2, you've immediately got the leg up. You throw them under the 50%.
You could just do the heal.
Yeah,
And
you do
you
the
can
heal
out
and
damage and out heal.
you've beaten them. You've got
Yeah.
more damage than them. You've already put them on the defensive, and there's not a lot they can do to come back from it.
Agility is very important in RTA. It's probably the most important stat. So any awakenings you get is very good. And can we talk about Erdrick having a 70% plus agility spike?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I've seen Erdrick
That
max awaken go over even my hybrid. Like I put my hybrid to like 724, 730,
it's
and
supposed to be 20%, right?
it's something ridiculous. The Erdrick will be able to outspeed it by like turn 2.
Yeah, it's stupid. I remember seeing like an Awakened 1, Awakened 2, and I have uh, a Sorrow at like. Well, I now have a max, and there was an Awakened 1 or Awakened 2 Erdrick turn 2 that outsped my 630 Sorrow. I'm like, how? How does this happen? And
It's the
then
buff.
the buff does 70% plus agility. It's like, that's dumb. Is that a bug? Do we know if that's a bug? Because it's supposed to
I
be 100%.
I couldn't tell you. I mean, it's one of those things where maybe it's a bug. If it is, it'll get fixed in JP first, and then it'll get fixed over here. I mean, they're not gonna. I don't. I don't think of. There's ever been one time where they've gone in and fixed something aside from cheaters. Back when they banned Zero, back when they took care of a couple of cheaters on our leaderboard for the Zoma EX. I don't know of them actually going in
It's
and,
always
and
been
fixing
text,
something.
always been like text or the language or the
Right. Not like,
and,
like something internal where
yeah.
so if there was an issue,
Yeah, there hasn't been like damage bugs or like HP bugs or anything like that,
No,
has there? No.
not that I'm aware of. Nothing on our end that wasn't already a result of JP, and then they
Yeah.
went back and they
So,
fixed it early for us.
because I'm sorry, like, if it was 50% agility, like, that'd be a lot better than 70%. You
It's
know,
just it's ridiculous, but I
that's
mean,
just stupid.
at least his AI is bad. So if people are autoing with him, I've seen him,
Yeah, that is bad. Like,
you
he'll
know,
just randomly do Clang, like, on some, like, oh, thanks for wasting your turn. I can
yeah,
hit
like
you
he'll
because
could clang
he
another
never does
unit.
it to himself.
He'll take his own agility buff off. He'll could clang himself. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, thank you. You've removed all of the arena buff you were given, your attacks and other things. So at
Yeah,
least
but
in
there
that
was
end, that's good.
we did a GVG, and he could have hit me. He could have hit me, but instead he did Clang. Like he was in range, and I was like, "What just happened?"
Is it because the hit wasn't going to be able to do a status ailment? Maybe because it was his thunder
I
and he
don't
just said
know.
screw it.
I can't remember. I just know that I was in range because I wanted to bait him because that was the whole strat. I was going to try to bait him, and he just did Clang. I was like, "Okay, whatever, cool."
It's like, oh, okay. All right, I'm just gonna take my ball and go home. Sure.
Yeah, like I'll just thanks for using that up. Thanks for not doing damage to me. Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, we're looking at once we get the next Seraphy, then let's see what was the timetable. So 12 days after Seraphy, then the Final Fantasy event dropped, and that's when Neiman
I
came out
hope they
first.
never bring a Marbolo unit into DQT because I swear that thing is gonna have every fucking status element.
No, no, there's so in terms of units we're getting, you know, Cactar. Well,
Right.
actually, we're getting Moogle.
Is he
That's
gonna do 1,000 damage?
it says he's going to. It says he's gonna have. Let me look
Like
here.
guaranteed 1K?
I mean, in arena it'll be less with the shielding, but
Yeah.
yeah, he's gonna have thousand needle. 1 to 3. He's gonna have something called needle bundle, grants the user 2x martial potency slash recovery for 1 turn.
That's not bad.
And then he's got, a tackle deals physical damage and moves up. That's, it's nothing major. Let's see here.
And then the Chocobo.
Let's take a look. I'm looking.
Does the Chocobo move 4?
Let me see. The Cactuar moves 4. I'm
That
assuming.
makes sense.
Let's see. So we got the Moogle for the first pack too. Let me look at that one real quick. The Chocobo comes out, I think, a week or two later. Okay, Moogle's 2. Moogle's 2 move. Chocobo, yeah, it should be 4. Let's see.
Is Moogle a caster?
Let me see here. So Chocobo's 4. Now let's go back and look at Moogle's abilities. So wait, I don't think Neiman's not part of the Final Fantasy set. I mean, I
Yes,
think
Stella.
Neiman's like the right before. That's kind of weird. They snuck him in there before that. So Moogle's a caster. He's got Cure, Minor Heal. He's got Mog Barrier, raises physical res, spell res of all allies. And then he's got Holy, which has a range of 4, deals major spell damage to one enemy.
Huh.
Looking to see if he's got anything interesting. 3 Awakening, he's got Action Start, rarely greatly raises Wisdom for 4 turns. We've got Moogle Dance at 5 Awakening. When an ally is attacked by an enemy, heals with Moogle Dance if allies within 1 to 2 spaces.
Hmm.
Eh. I mean, his stats are nothing to write home about. His agility. It's saying here. Let's actually put the mastery up to like what? So he's
What's Moogle's family?
yeah.
Inorganic?
He's gonna be Dark Lord. So I'll put it to 40 because we're gonna have a decent amount of Dark
Yeah.
Lord units.
High agility, I'm guessing, right?
446. I guess that's not
Um,
bad for a caster for an A rank. That's not hateful.
oh, he's an A rank. Okay.
Yeah. Let me go look at Moogle's agility, or not Moogle, Chocobo's agility. Let's look at him.
Is Chocobo S?
Chocobo's also A.
Hmm, okay.
Let's see here. So Chocobo's got the 4 move. Let's put him up. He's also going to be a Dark Lord, so we'll put him to 5 Awakening and do the same thing. Do Master Rank 40. His agility's going to be 475, a little bit higher than Moogle. That's
Nice.
that's not bad. I mean, he's got Stampede, raises the user's agility for 1 turn. That's on himself, so that's not really. I mean, I guess that's better for a turtle strategy if you want to change the order. He's got
Yeah.
a nine cell, a 3x3 cell heal. Heals a moderate amount of HP and recovers 10 MP for all allies in area of effect. That's different. I mean, that could be used for some blossoming doors and other strats where you need some MP back. And then he's
Yeah.
got Chocobo Cheer, which is also it's 9 cell 3x3, around himself, the same as Chocobo Heal. Raises attack, defense, and wisdom of all allies in area of effect for 3 turns. So
Hey, that's actually pretty good for how does Sorrow's because I know Sorrow's attack is based on attack percentage, but does Wisdom affect it at all?
it definitely does on Crimson Cuts. So I mean, that'd
There
be
you go.
good
So
for Sorrow.
you're
That'd be good
raising his
for
attack
Erdrick.
and you're raising his Wisdom. So you're increasing his damage in two different ways.
I mean, the only unit who really wouldn't get much value out of it, I think, would be Zoma, because Zoma's going to have
Mhm.
his wisdom boosted up, and he doesn't get any real effect out of dual stats. But for units like Zaro doesn't get any wisdom up, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then I'm looking at his special abilities. So 1 heart, he gets greatly raises breath resistance for 3 turns.
Okay.
Three hearts when an ally is poisoned or envenomated by an enemy. If ally is within 1 to 3 spaces of range, cures with helpful poisoner up to 4 times per battle.
What does Envenomate and
Normal poison. So if you normal poison or
okay.
envenomate a unit, that's done. 5
Try to
star is
do-
auto regen. So at 5 awaken, heals 10% of max HP. So let's see. His HP, I mean, it's 865 at max.
Ooh, that's low.
So it's not really. Yeah, he's that HP thing's not going to be too much. He's weak to sleep and blind. I
Hmm.
mean, he's got resistance to paralysis and he's immune to confusion. So I mean, some of the more normal status resistances. I mean, you could still get sleep breath on you, but that's not
Yeah.
too bad. And then he's weak to sizz and crack. So I mean, potentially Zoma could just one-shot this motherfucker.
Yeah. Most likely.
I will still grab
That's
the
super low
Chocobo though.
health though. Like even
Yeah,
that's even lower than Boreal,
it's probably because he's a healer.
most likely.
Well, let me go
I wish
take.
Boreal had more health.
I mean, he's pretty much a suicide unit. You send him in, and he's
Yeah, he
gonna
is.
die.
Red Hood has a better suicide unit, but he sometimes you don't want to buff him up.
And then you've got King Mont coming. King Mont's gonna be a hero unit. He's gonna be a tank type. Let's see here. Raises the user's agility for 3 turns and takes. That's that's a very interesting. I didn't realize this about it. I haven't really taken a look. So King Mon's Selfless is actually an agility up ability. So not only does he cover units, but he also raises the agility of the units he's covering and
Oh
himself.
wow,
Huh.
that's wow. Oh, that's actually really strong.
That could really throw people through a loop in terms
What,
of
what's his
turtle.
resistance?
I mean, his resistance though he is whoosh and zam, and he's weak to crack and bang. So
It's not Frizz.
not frizz. I mean, that's good. He's immune to
Bang
confusion.
is rough. Bang is rough.
He's weak to stun. So I mean, you could stun him or you can poison him. But I mean, looking this over, he's got two move. He gets a third move on Awakening One. So you're gonna want Awakening One this guy. Let's see.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Raising agility.
Awakening 3, Battle Start raises physical resistance for 10 turns. What's Awakening 5 do? Awakening 5, Physical Tricks lowers physical ability MP cost by 10%, raises potency and recovery by 10%. So, I mean, he's got some interesting tool sets here. He's got a Fang attack, 1 to 2 range that, can often lock physical moves. He's got claws that, do cross shape damage, which occasionally lowers physical resistance. And then
That's good.
his special is a rhombus, around him that deals physical damage, 400% potency to all enemies in area of effect, and often confuses, which you have to wait 3 turns to use that. So that's.
He's dead.
Yeah, that's at that point. I don't know, but I'm gonna go ahead and take a look here. So let's say he's max awakened. We've got 5 awakening for him, and we'll do 35 for hero. So I mean, he's got 1220 base HP, 501 agility. He's got pretty high agility for a cover tank.
That's good because a
Yeah,
lot of the tanks that we do use are super low.
and he's got 495 defense, which isn't hateful as well. He is weighted 60 though. So I mean, there's going to be some interesting units coming with Final Fantasy. It's just one of those things where
They all sound kind of niche.
they are. But the problem here is you've got Final Fantasy, and then you've got Dragon Quest Monsters that's going to come out after Halloween Veronica. So you've got all these new units coming out within the span of a couple of weeks because you've got Bahamut, King Mont, you've got then you've got Phoenix as well, and then you've got Omega. Omega's going to be coming out, and then after that it's Halloween Veronica, and then after Halloween Veronica, there's it seems here there was only a 10-day lapse. So between because Veronica and JP dropped 1027, and then the first set of DQM monsters dropped back on 11/7. So like 10 days after, and you've got the first set of DQM banner units, and then 11 days later, the next set here. So I mean, if you're a collector, fucking good luck, because some of these are exclusive. You're never gonna see these Final Fantasy units again, and then you're gonna go right into the DQM ones. I mean, if you're not a collector, I feel like you could probably pick and choose some of these, and you can play your cards right, and figure out how you want to go. I mean, I like Omega Weapon, but he's more of a roulette unit. I mean, I don't know. Marshall just seems inferior to Breath because Breath always hits. There's no
Yeah,
evasion units. There's no surefire Marshall ability.
they've
So I
made
mean,
Brett pretty strong too. This is Neville. Say hi.
curiosity. Oh, hey there, kitty. There you go. You serve that cat.
There's definitely going to be probably a Christmas special banners and maybe even a New Year's Day special banner, and then right into the 2 years. So
There's gonna be something. There's gonna be because their anniversary's coming up in January, so they're gonna be at 2.5, which
yeah,
maybe we'll get another blossoming of an older unit or something completely new. It's yeah, good luck there.
yeah, but there's definitely going to be some more. like the thank you, banners. Just
Oh
here's
yeah,
more.
some stuff for JP that we may not get. Yeah, yeah, that's there's definitely going to be more of that. Which
Yeah,
I don't get because we see everything that happens in JP. You can, stop treating us special and just give us the same one-to-one shit, please. Thank you.
if only.
I don't
If
think
only.
anybody here would be angry if they just
It's
gave
not-
us the Black Friday deal that JP got.
they'd probably make more money if they did it. To be honest,
Yeah, yeah, they would. So
it,
yeah,
it's very strange that they don't do it. I don't quite get it.
I don't know what the deal is. I mean, I'm guessing because some of the banners are still going, they feel like they'd make less money on them if they do that. But I mean, anybody who's going to keep pulling on them is going to keep pulling on them, even with the special. I mean,
Yeah,
in fact, you may even get people to pull on them even more if they get a couple awakenings on one of these newer banner units. That'll be like, man, well now I've got a chance to max awaken this, so let me go back in
yeah.
and
I
pull
mean,
some more. You know?
if you get a unit, to 2 or to 4, you know, it might trigger the, hey, let me get that third and that fifth awakening because of whatever. And if they somehow get lucky and they get a double drop, on their when they were at Awaken 2, in a 10 roll, now they're at Awaken 4, they're going to go for Awaken 5. I mean, if they can, they're going to.
I mean, they might as well. I mean, it depends. There's very few units I've seen where Awaken 5 isn't really worth going for,
Yeah,
especially
a lot of
if
the units Awaken 5 is usually pretty strong.
if anything, at least for the agility, the extra stats for the agility makes a hell of a
The
difference.
HP too.
Right. So it's like I don't know. I don't get it. We see these things over there. We see them happening. It's I just give them to us. Just
Curious, what is Black Friday deal?
it was like some really good banner. It was pretty much just a little bit of everything. Like you had Sage in there, you had all these other units in this banner deal, and it would have been good. It would have been it was a guaranteed out of a larger pool. Sure, you might not have gotten what you wanted out of the larger pool because it included units like Jamirus and Sage and Erdrick and all these other units, but I don't think people would have complained trying to. It's kind of like the 50 Scout. When they did the 50 Scout for us, they didn't have all the units in there because there were some banners in play. They gave us a watered down version of the 50 Scout, which
Yeah,
when that happened, there were people who didn't spend on it because they're like, well, this is different. Why? I saw what JP got. Why can't I spend on that? That's a better deal. But they never made an official announcement on it. They never really said anything on it that I know of. I don't remember Malcolm or
it's
making any
like that
mention.
saying of, I know that someone else got this. Why can't I get that? You know,
Right.
it's kind of like that, or it's like you're never gonna miss what you never had, but now that that you can have it, you miss it, even though you never got it in the first place. That kind of thing.
And then meanwhile, it's like, well, then I think there was talk of, well, maybe we'll get it down the road. Somebody was saying maybe Malcolm did say we could potentially get that down the road. It's like, well, okay, we're down the road. We're past that point now.
Yeah,
I still
we,
don't
we,
see that banner. I still don't see that
we've
better
gone
50
down
scout.
a couple roads and made a couple turns already.
I mean, that could have been a good thing to drop for this Black Friday. The better 50 scout that people
Yeah,
wanted to actually pull on, and
because and so here's the thing, like you if JP got a Black Friday deal and they do Black Friday over there, why wouldn't Global get a Black Friday? Because we're not just talking about America, we're talking about all the other countries that do Black Friday around the world that are in Global.
right. So that was just a
So,
thank
so
you
it's
thing,
not
and
just like a West thing. It's not just like, oh, JP hates America or hates the West. No, it's all those other countries too. So it's like it's all of Global. It's not just like a West thing, which a lot of the times, I could probably say, it's that East Coast, West Coast sort of bias. JP doesn't like the West, but they're in other countries and they're not in some countries. It's very weird. I don't get it. I don't know why they do it. Just it's stupid. It's random.
I don't get the dynamics at all. It's one of those things where they did Black Friday. They know what Black Friday is.
Yeah,
They,
exactly.
you know, I have some things in the past that they could have done. Says like, here's these thank you banners with the surveys. Okay, great, cool.
Yeah.
It's not really. I mean, it's not really much of a deal aside from, you're getting a guaranteed S off the first one. That's good. That's pretty good. I mean, I would recommend anybody who's new to the game, you're guaranteed an S outside of general pool for just doing 3K on each of these banners. If you have the gems,
Yeah, great.
do it. It's a good deal in that regard, but it's just like then you see what JP's doing. You're like, man, I wish I had that instead. Please, can I get
Yeah.
that instead?
Like when you think about Black Friday, it's like we're not doing, St. Patrick Day banners or like President's Day
No.
banners. Like no, this is Black Friday. This is like a global world, everyone shops on Amazon online now, Black Friday kind of thing. Everyone goes out and does it kind of
Well, it's
thing.
like they had White Day in Japan, which I think is like a male equivalent of Valentine's Day. I don't expect to get White Day over here. I don't expect anybody to know what White Day really
Hmm.
is. I get that. But we know what Black Friday is. You could give us that Black Friday deal,
Yeah.
please? No? Okay.
Because it makes no sense because you're just they would make more money. And it's just like when you look at a gotcha game, I mean, what is the goal of a gotcha game? To make money. So when we don't get it, it's like you'd make more money.
The goal of the gotcha game
Why,
is to
why are we
find
getting?
idiots with a lot of money and low self-esteem to spend. That's the goal of the fucking gotcha game. It's like, damn, you could be number one in this game. Oh boy, just gotta keep spending. There you go.
And like if you want people to become whales or to stay whales or whatever it is, give them the deals. Like they'll spend. But if you don't give them the avenues to do it, they're not going to.
See, here's the thing: those people don't. The people who spend, they don't care about value. I mean, they don't know what value is. You know, if you actually sat some of these guys down and asked
The
them how
JP
much they've
players,
really
they're
spent, like JP's a good example. Like you've got people in JP who have done 30 awakening plus on units to be competitive in arena. I don't think any of those people know how much they've really spent to get there. And it's kind of like the same here. You could sit some of these, higher end spenders down and ask them, hey, what are you really dropping in this game? And maybe they'll give you a figure, but that figure could be very, very inaccurate because the game's all about impulse spending. It's about, the new banner's up, and then you do 80, and then you do another 80, and then you do another 80. And then you
yeah,
look and you see, did I get this max awaken yet? Oh, no. Oh, let me keep going. And,
yeah,
you lose track of how many times you're doing that because, it's a currency conversion. You're taking real dollars and changing them to gems and then changing those gems into units. And when all is said and done, most people, aside from having to like really scrutinize the bank statements, because good as well as I do that when we make
yeah,
these charges, they don't come in right away. A lot of times, the bank sometimes doesn't even have these charges come in and reflect on the account for like 5 to 7 days, and it's
yeah.
like, oh, I spent $80. When did I do this again? Oh, that was last week. Oh, I thought I had 80 extra dollars, and so I did another one. It's like
My,
fuck.
mine come in bunches.
Oh, like statements every month.
No, no, no. Like when they show up on the statement, they'll come in like batches of two or three.
Shit. So it's like, oh, I don't know. I remember doing 2 or 3 of these in a row. I remember doing like one and then one and then one. Fuck.
Yeah.
Ugh. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, the game's at least in a good direction. I mean, I can't really complain right now. Yeah, RTA is what it is, but it's still there's some chance there. I mean, you could get matched up against fucking the end if you're in legendary, or you can get matched up against some guy who just kind of
Dude,
hobbled his way there, and then you completely destroy him. It's
the beach Jessica Max Awaken, dude. If you're out there, like you've spent some money, man.
I mean
Probably,
that's
probably triple what I've done.
I mean there's people out there who aren't going to be part of the community, and they're well over 30,000. I mean they
Yeah.
may even be over more than that, but those are the people who keep this game afloat,
Yep.
and they don't care about anything. I mean, look what happened when JM got locked out. Some people, some people really cared because it was like, man, if I spend a lot of money, then I'm not going to get this treatment. And other people were like, well, I've got an exit plan. I'll just call my bank. Like, okay. I mean, that's you need a better grip on reality. I mean, maybe don't do 6 hours of RTA a day. Maybe take a step back and look at things because
I get to do a little bit in the morning, and I mean sometimes I'm what isn't it going on right now this time slot?
Uh, yeah, what's going on for 8 to 10?
Yeah.
But
So
I
like
just I don't care right now. I mean,
yeah, I get to do like an hour of each maybe in these two times. I don't even know when the middle time slot is because I never get to do it
I
in the
think it's
middle of
when
the
I'm working, so I just don't. I try and do a little bit, but like right now I'm 116. I guess I could push for 100, and if
we
I
rank
push for 100,
116.
yeah.
I'm at like 98 wins currently, ranked 500 something. I definitely want to get in the top 300. I think I'm definitely going to get there.
Well,
Just more.
you only need to be in the top. So 101 to 1001, you get 3,000 gems. You don't have to do anything. You're good.
Okay.
And then if you get 71 to 100, you get 4,000 gems. But I mean, as you go up, it's just going to get harder and harder. Like the disparity is
Are
current.
you gonna put in that much extra effort for an extra 1K?
Here's the thing: you're retarded if you do that. Let's be honest here. That's an extra 1,000 gems. Now, maybe I have to play 2 hours a day extra to get that for the rest of the season. What's that? Another 12 or 14 hours
For 60 days?
for like the next. Well, let's see. Let's see here. The tournament ends
You're not doing
on the
that.
4th. The tournament's done on the 4th. We're at what right now? We're at the 26th. So I'd have to go, let's say, 8
Eight?
days, 16 hours to get 1K gems. That's like, you look at these people who got top 10, and they're going to get 8K gems. Well, if you spent 6 hours a day, for a large period of time,
Yeah,
you know,
all spread out by the way.
spread out throughout the day. You could have lost sleep. You could have, other
Yeah.
shit to get 8K gems. Like, I don't get some of these people. Like, Ace is a prime example of having a real addiction. Like, he wanted that rank one. Good for him. But you're dropping thousands of dollars in this game, and then you're playing 6 hours a day for weeks on end to get 8K gems. You're an idiot. You're a fucking idiot. You don't need those gems. I mean, sure, you could do it for the rank. Maybe it's because he never. I don't think he's rank one on anything, and he came a little late, and he's put a lot of money in the game. Maybe he's looking for acknowledgement there. But I mean, I called it out when I saw it. He's like, "Yeah, you're looking for acknowledgement. Great. You're gonna pay for it. You're gonna pay for it in time or money in this game." And in this case, he's paying for it in both. And but again, this was a guy who thought Nibs was going to be a good guild leader and almost ran off with him from AW. So, guy's an idiot.
That guy is the village
Yeah, to
idiot.
get fucking talked off the ledge. I'm like, I don't get why Tukey cried over him. Knowing what I know now about Aces, it's like, the guy would sell your grandmother for a nickel. I
Did he
wouldn't.
actually cry?
Tukey cried. He did like a whole video thing. He got on there with a white piece of paper and was like saying how Tukey's another one. Tukey, how we run the sub guilds. He does things differently. Like If we're down a person, we would look elsewhere to find somebody. But him, well, I lost a person in the main guild. Let's go see what I can pull out of the sub guild this week. Fuck if they're doing okay. They don't need this person. You'll be fine with 19 people. See you later. Like, it's just like sub guild in name only. It's like, well, yeah, we could butcher the other two guilds and get the best 20 people set up possible. Yeah, that'd be great. Okay, cool, but there's more than just 20 people in this community who play in our guilds, and it just doesn't make sense to me. It's like, well, I'm gonna fuck over 40 other people's happiness because we're down a person or two. Like, fuck that guy. Just fuck that guy. I'm just not a big fan of Tukey after he did that, and after he pulled some bullshit where he was afraid of pack, so he left our community server.
He's still on that server.
I think he's still in the pack server, the pack DQT hub. He's still in there. So it's like, nice. You're a fucking liar. you're and the same thing, I called out Marco for the same bullshit. He did the same thing. You're another fucking liar. You did the same thing. I think he eventually left that server, at least. So but it's just like, you're gonna call somebody out on their bullshit. Why would you hang around their server? Why would you hang around? Okay, sure, the guides are great and everything, but you've expressed some real dismay with this person. Just leave. Just get out of there. Fuck him. You don't want to have anything to do with him.
Right?
Yeah, it's just I just don't get it.
Oh well.
So yeah, it's
gone, never coming back.
Yep.
If he does, we'll just laugh. We'll just laugh.
Yeah. Well, that guy's another one. I mean, Marco's pretty. I'd say he's got like a Napoleon complex. Like, he spent months in advance setting up this perfect guild, getting his little cult together. He's another one who's got some real issues. Although he's got some luck. His guild has some luck. For whatever reason, they have not fought AW in a GVG at all. I don't know what the mathematical odds of that happening are, given how the matchings were set up.
We haven't, besides like the first one.
Yeah,
right?
we even fought them once. I think we did. We fought BDS one time
with you.
Yeah, we fought them once, and it's just. Meanwhile, AW's fought SF like 6 or 7 times since the inception of the GVG. But so I don't know if that's some sort of manipulation, because they've got people in there who spend and not spend as much, and they're trying to get those people to spend more, and they're pairing them up with them, because there are things out there, are systems in some of these games where they'll do matchmaking. They'll some of these reports have been said where you'll have player A, who's a new player, very low spend, hasn't spent anything yet, and they'll get matched up with player B, who's a high-end spender, to go through a mission together. And you'll see this person pumping out these numbers and doing really good and everything, and then at the end of that run, there'll be like some deal to get a specific item or package to help you improve. So anything's possible.
Yeah.
Is that what's going on? Maybe, maybe not. Could we ever fucking prove it? No. So, but it's just like, if that's the case, they've been playing in the rat race for a while now, and that's only because they have people in there who don't spend as much. I mean, as they had said themselves, BDS was like, well, we don't have many variable spenders. I don't think we have any. They either spend a lot or they don't, so there's no middle of the road things, where people like Trop would be, I guess, a variable spender, because he has spent a little bit here and there. He's done a couple of things, so they're trying to, maybe extract more money out of him, and maybe that's why they get the harder difficulty opponent, which for them, there's only one opponent that could provide a reasonable challenge and defeat them, and they've gone up against that one opponent for many months in a row. That seems kind of staged to me. That at this, when you look at it, when you look at everybody else they could have gone up against, who they've beaten, they've taken out, for them to keep going against the same group, there's a reason for it. It's like Starfall's top of the tier. It doesn't matter who they go against; they're gonna win. Majority of times. There's been one
Yeah.
upset, one time where they lost, and I mean technically I think they could have lost this time here because they had a DC, but they
Oh,
didn't.
that's
They still won. They won by like 5 points. They won by the seat of their pants.
hmm.
But it's like the alternative is if they were to tie, that would have been hell. Because then it would have been, who can get the most 160s out of the remaining two matches in their qualifiers or, for the cup. That's
Right.
awful. That's absolutely fucking awful. So I think in a way, I think it was better off that they lost because it just would have been a lot more heartache and a lot more pressure. And maybe that pressure would have got some people to spend. Who knows? It's tough to say, but it's just one of those things you gotta watch out for. Like even this month here, they've definitely changed up the system. We're gonna do some more tests and we're gonna play around with some stuff for next month. But
I
they've
will say I definitely felt more of a need to spend when I was in AW for those couple months.
just because of the atmosphere and everything. Because I mean, it's either you're one of their inner circle, one of their
I mean,
leaders
I
who's a
kept
free to
spending
play.
anyway. But I will say,
Right.
like, I felt the need to do it. So
Well, Nibs felt the same need too. I mean, I'm sure Game Vision feels the same need because if Game Vision doesn't spend, he's worthless. He's got no value to bring to that group. He can't think for himself for the most part. So I mean, if he doesn't have his box, they wouldn't bring him in. If he was a free to play, he'd never be in that guild. I don't know. I can't speak to some of the others, some of the other spenders. Their prowess. It's tough to say. I mean, but the money definitely helps. The money is a really good crutch in these games, and no
yeah,
matter what accolades you have, yeah, you're rank one, great, but you paid a lot of blood and you paid a lot of time to get there. You really didn't win anything at the end of the day. The real winner, Square Enix, and
yeah.
I've learned that. It's like, oh, yeah, what did I get out of being rank one CP for all those months? Oh, uh,
Decent bit.
yeah, I had to pay off a lot of money. I had to pay some money to them, and oh yeah, it was great. So I didn't really get anything out of it. It was silly, but Anyway, on that note, do you have any final words before we close out for today?
Nibs is still and forever will be a mistake.
Uh, yeah, and to go on record, I had said, and I threw that DM out there, this was a bad idea, and they still went with it. I mean, granted, people think I'm trolling a lot of times, but I'm like, this is not a real calculated risk you want to go for, but it's one of those things where that guild is less about people and more about results. And
Fine.
well, you get the results you get. Anyway, take care, folks.